Tonight on the program, like I said, we're going to give you a closer view at what has played out and what might play out in the coming days. And joining us to break this down and help you get a sense of the context, we have Honorable Oyedepo, Chieftain of Kwara APC. He joins us from our Abuja studio this evening. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
It's great to have you. Now, there will always be that question about the root of this conflict. Well, we saw the governor of Niger State, who was appointed to mediate, saying that this is simply a communication gap type of conflict. But I'd like to ask, is that what it is to you and your faction?
Well, it's not strictly a communication gap among us in Kwara State. The crisis of the party is so fundamental. The Otoge movement was a collective effort. Though several people were in that movement for different reasons. 4 tendencies came together on the 1st of August, 2018 to form the new APC. That is the tendency of Akogun, the tendency of Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the tendency of Fagbemi, where the governor now belongs, and the tendency of Bemi. So the problem of welding together the tendencies are making a party out of the 4 tendencies is the major problem. I don't see it as a communication problem. It is more of leadership failure. Leadership that cannot bring people together under an agenda that can take the state to the next level. So the problem is more fundamental to just say communication problem. It is leadership management problem. And unless we get over that, there might not be a way out in the party in Kwara State. But we're happy. Yesterday we were called, and the party is responsibly handling this matter. I'm sure if the way and manner it was handled yesterday is to be advanced seriously, we are likely to have a united front, and there will be no fear about losing the next election by our party in Kwara State.
Okay, that's also another big issue.
Leadership failure.
Right. The issue of the governorship election, the coming one, is also another big issue. But just to clear the air on some of the issues you have raised so far. So when you say that this is essentially a leadership management issue and not a communication gap issue, who specifically are you referring to when it comes to leadership? I mean, that you say is probably not handling this well.
Well, you see, when the party is formed, before we won election, the chairman of the party was the leader of the party. And he led us to victory. The victory we had in 2019 was unprecedented because we fielded 35 candidates, including the president of Nigeria. And we won all. It was a 100% win in that election. That election couldn't have been won on the merit of the candidate fielded. It was won by the effort of the party members, the party leaders, who were able to present some program to the people, and they were able to sensitize, mobilize, and organize the people for a credible election in Kwara State. Now, after the election and the governor emerged, he becomes the leader of the party. But there is always one big problem in Nigeria about governors being the leader of the party. Being the leader of the party does not mean that a governor will not subject himself to democracy and democratic practices and values. I think the major problem, therefore, is that while we are all to sit down and fashion out the type of government we want for the people of Kwara State, the party and the government is being run on factional basis. So that is not communication gap. In fact, it is more of no communication at all. Because the faction that is sought out, there's nobody communicating with him.
Well, Honorable Oyedepo.
But if we all sit down to consummate the program and then present it to the people, execute it, we will be in the best position to always jointly protect and defend the program of government. The problem is exclusion.
Okay, let me just
and
also...
when you say who is excluding,
right, you can land on that.
It is the governor that is excluding us at now.
Okay, now that you have established that, I'd like to also touch on one of the major bones of contention in this whole tussle, and that's the position of a chairmanship in the state. From where you sit, what is the state of the position of the chairmanship? Because I know that your faction, which is loyal to the Minister of Information and the Minister of State for Transportation, you have spoken against the purported removal of the chairman. The party at the national level seems to be backing his deputy for the position. So what is the position on that, generally?
Well, I don't want to say that the party at the national level is backing the deputy. We had a meeting where issues were more or less joined. But before we could even state anything, the party, as I've earlier said, responsibly, they are handling this matter. And I want to say that there was no basis for the issuance of a letter to another person when the current chairman is still subsisting. And it was said glaringly that the basis of issuing a letter to another person was in error because there was no basis for doing so. Our party is a party of law. Respect. We have respect for law. Constitutionality is not a situation where there will be a rule of the thumb. And when that one is obviously known to the leadership, they have decided that the governor of Niger State should now sit with the leadership of the party in Kwara State and provide an amicable settlement of the crisis. As at now, we are back to the status ante. So, which means the condition that was prevalent before we had the meeting yesterday, whereby the party chairman remained the chairman that was earlier sworn in, still subsists today. If there was no report on which a new letter was issued, that means the letter was issued in error. Well, if it was issued in error, it does not operate at all again.
Okay, well, Honorable Oyedepo,
and that is where we are now.
I think that point is taken because for you, you say that Mr. Bolarinwa still remains the chairman of the party in this state. So we would like to thank you so much, Honorable Iola Oyedepo, who is chieftain of Kwara APC. He is of the Minister for Information and Culture and the Minister of State for Transportation's faction in this matter. I would like to thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the program tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you have listened to one side of that. We'll go on a break now, and when we return, we'll listen to the other side. That's only fair, so please stay with us.